Hello everybody, this is ZigZagZog coming to you from somewhere in this world. We're back to continue our playthrough of Empire Total War featuring Darthmod and that 40 unit save version. We had some big battles in India last time, and we're kind of getting everything under control here in Bijapur before we move down and take on our next target. Right now we just got to wait for the public order to get back under control. It's not looking good until we get some buildings repaired at the moment. So what we will do with some funds while we have them is get this army fixed back up, re-recruit where we need to. It's going to take a big chunk of our funds, almost 8,000, to get that back in order. So that was a costly attack as far as men and equipment. Let's get our rake moving up in this general direction so we can start looking at these two territories in the back, Punjab and Kashmir. What I'm thinking is if this army can move out even though we're not quite healed, it's going to be close. Let's find out if we can take a step out and move over towards Nerun Kot. And not quite. We're going to have to leave a group behind somehow. And if we take our weakest VOC infantry, a couple of those coming back in here. In fact, one unit come back in here to heal just to keep things under control. Patrol the cities. We're going to move this very much hurting army over in this direction, but the reason I'm going to do this heavily depleted army off in this direction is there's no resistance over here, and I want to grab it before that situation changes. The other thing I want to do is look at keeping up the pressure. This army that kind of came out to do battle from the force we had moved over here into Malwa is actually strong enough to stand up to any remnant armies they have over here. We are getting replenished here also. We're going to kind of keep them here to see how they react, and then I'm going to see if we can move this particular army out. In fact, let's move them here. Public order is, what do you know, hanging in there barely with us moving out. Let's just move on down the road here towards our next target, Hindustan. One thing I will do to help that public order, let's upgrade to a governor's residence because we do have the funds at this point. And in fact, we'll do the same thing over here to help with the public order. And I think that will call it a day over here in India. I'm going to head over to the Americas now. Really, the main thing I have over in the Americas is armies that have finished up with the Cherokee, getting them consolidated over here in the old Iroquois territory so that we have a force ready to move on New York when that time should come, and a big enough force up here to hopefully react to anything the British might be thinking of on their own, because, you know, the AI has a habit of doing things we're not necessarily always ready for it. I'm going to go ahead and do with our little, we got about 3,851 left. I think everybody else has been replenished. Any armies that we need, so let's just do some capital upgrades to a state capital here. In fact, that'll be it. Unless we have a farm. Here we have our little church school we can upgrade to help with our public order conversion, religious conversion there. Then as far as this army is concerned, I really don't want to move. I'm going to come over here when they, probably next turn when they get back to full strength. We'll bring the Navy down here, bring them back up to northern Italy to park over here in Venice. I don't see a big amount of forces over here yet to worry about. Austria did just take over Bavaria, but with a very minor force. I don't know. I'm seeing lots of Russian activity over here. I think their days are numbered and how long they'll be able to hold on to that. I'm just going to move my rake that's here to infiltrate over here to keep an eye on things for the moment. And there's that. We're going to get our... Do we have any areas? Yeah, we need to get converted over here. So we're going to send our missionary down in this direction. to start helping with our conversion over here. In fact, okay, we are repairing. It's still smoking because it's not done yet. And I'm just going to check our list, make sure I haven't overlooked any individuals that I want to get moving, and then we'll move on to the next turn. Alright, so we have a rake that's in Turin of Savoy, and let's just get him moved out. Probably more over in this general direction to keep an eye on any potential Austrian activity over here. And I like the position of this rake in the Americas. I'll just keep him kind of hanging out at the bridge because he gives me eyes in a pretty good wide-ranging area over here. All right, and that should be it. We're going to go take our next turn, and we'll see you on the other side. Let's see, Mustafa the Third. They'll give me Transylvania. No, we're going to pass. Another one of his silly trade requests. All right, our one. We only had one whooping building constructed, this time a craft workshop. Workers on strike in Bijapur. Well, that's where we took it over, and we knew that was coming, but it should be under control now that the buildings have been repaired. And agent has been detected, and he managed to escape with his life. This is over in Austria. Yeah, Austrian territory. We're going to go check out the mine. And everybody else has successfully got the job done. We have a new port that has emerged. This is over on the island of Cuba is what it looks like. We can go with the fishery because we have our commercial port to help with growth. And we're losing zeal when converting in the Americas. He thinks it's a little hot and muggy here in Florida, and he's losing his zeal. I don't blame you. Most humid place I've been is Florida, and it looks like it's 100% Protestantism. No wonder. Why do we have you staying here? Well, let's get you back over to Louisiana, where we need some conversion help over there. Maybe that'll renew your enthusiasm. Not the humidity in Louisiana is much better than Florida. Alright, we're going to hop back over here to India because this is where the most action is taking place. If we look at Bijapur, we got things under control a little tiny bit over here. What we're going to do is we're going to upgrade this is still maximum upgraded. This building. I wonder if it would help us with the public order to convert it to one of our own buildings. Well, the Raja's Palace. Now that seems about what it should be for repression, bonus, and everything else. So we're going to keep it. We just got to give it some time. It's a big religious issues over here, so maybe what we can do, since we're under control here, let's get some conversion going on with ministers here. Of course, they're preaching on their own Islam over here, so we got our work cut out for us. Yeah, but our public order is much better shape over here, so let's get the conversions over here, and let's get our armies moving and keep on going, keep on trucking over here. Let's move in here to Nerun-Kot. They should just surrender. Well, maybe not. They brought a few forces in there, but I still think they might surrender. Okay, so much for what I think. It's highly in our favor. We got mega mortars, and we do have a couple of units of dragoons. We do have some cavalry to be able to go charge in on the mortars. It's just that we are not exactly a full-strength army over here. We do still greatly outnumber them, but let's go take care of this one. We'll see you down on the battlefield. Alright, looks like there's a little bit of a rise here over on this side of the battlefield. Otherwise, that's the most prominent hill that we're dealing with. So I'm going to come back, set up. We don't have any, actually we don't have any artillery on this one to deal with. So it's just a matter of placing. Yeah, if you're going to be acting as my general, we're gonna not be crazy with my general this time. We're going to keep you in the back, bring some cavalry out on the wings, and bring you as another reserve in the back, because I feel like we need a little more. And then that's it. I'm just going to go with this setup. It's pretty standard, pretty basic line, with some cavalry at either wing. Not very strong cavalry at either wing either, mind you. And what we're going to have to do is charge on in and get rid of those mortars, because they're going to be blasting us. In fact, let's get our main front line ready to move, because it looks like we're probably going to be the ones that have to go on offense here. Since we have no cannon, they do. And we know from fort battles how deadly those mortars can be. So let's get going. Mortars are front and center. They got plenty of camel nomads over here. In fact, they got a lot of units to be able to back up those mortars. Bring in our reserves also. They're gonna run out a little bit. Let's bring our cavalry a little bit closer. See if we can sneak on in there. If they only got dervishes nearby, well, they're shifting their musketmen, but let's see if we can sneak on in there somehow. Musketmen on this side, so we'll hold back on this cavalry. Charging in on the mortars, see if we can't silence some of these before our cavalry takes too much hurt. And we're taking shots from the distance on their camel gunners. Can't keep pushing. As long as they aren't coming directly at us, we're going to keep pushing. They're getting their musketmen lined up though, so our time here is short. Also, our line has closed in, so it's time to get the cavalry out of here. Ooh, wavering already. We stayed just a little too long. Now we got some others to deal with. They're going to be able to close in here because they are cavalry. Let's get ready for some help on the line over here with our reserve infantry. Bring these cavalry over here to help out. The fact that our own cavalry run away. I'm not even seeing them. Okay, they are back over here, so let's bring them down to the other side to help support. We got them wavering though, although we're starting to waver. I think I wanted you to charge on in, but they're starting to break. They're starting to break. They got their musketmen out there, so let's pull back our reserves. Let our lines fire away. going to keep up the pressure with our little bit of cavalry here. Our 27 strong dragoons over here. And we'll chase down some more cavalry over this way. Well, that's a mortar garrison. Well, we'll still chase them down. They should wither under the strength of our fire. And they're starting to regroup. We were not able to get out there. We're going to pull back. Bring this unit out to the wings here on a run. So I would like them in square formation to cover our flank. Yeah, our cavalry's hurt and they can't hold up too much. The musketmen are fading here now, but they're all able to come back and regroup, and they'll come back again. We're going to go into square formation. Bring them back there through chasing down, and we still got to fight. What we will do is on this side of the line, though, we'll start, since we have the numbers, start advancing at a run. Some help on the line again. Nope, they're wavering. And we have our square formation, which has been helpful for us here. We're going to bring our cavalry in to push off this one strong part of their attack. Everybody else is withering under our fire. Aha! That's because this is not cavalry that's closed in. This is dervishes, so I don't even need to be in square formation. No wonder we're not repulsing. Let's get out of square. And the cavalry charge coming in helped drive them off. Alright, that's it. That's victory. It is in a town, so that we shouldn't need to do any running down on this one. Alright, and we have conquered yet another territory. The ability of the Mughal Empire to wage war on us anymore is starting to run down little by little. We're going to burn this down and rebuild on our own. The region has been captured. Let's send our rake up in his direction to get some more eyes. I don't need to infiltrate.
Sluipen is mijn specialiteit. Zien, maar niet gezien.
And so far, not too much going on over here. What we can do is chase down. What we can do is go against this unit right in the middle. It should get reinforcements from everybody else. Okay, so not everybody else. Let's just auto-resolve this one. It's well in our favor.
Victory!
Look at that. We lost over 500 men to their 660. Almost even.
Forward!
But we knocked them out. Now let's see if we have enough range. Not quite. So hopefully just two single units. They can't do too much against us. The only other option I have... Ooh! And I missed this unit coming down here. This is the unit we did battle with before. So I think it's time to bring some dragoons over here to help garrison Nagpur over here. An oversight on my part over here. What we're going to do is a little recruitment just so we have some militia over here, just so we have some resistance should they move against us. And we'll do the same over here in case. Is it going to be enough? Too little, too late maybe? Let's see if this unit can get moved out now. Yes, it can. So we're going to move this one over here. Just that little extra bit might be enough against these straggling loose units of theirs. And what we're going to do is we are going to engage in siege over here. We're going to start an investment over here for Hindustan. Looks like any units they may have to reinforce are very, very minor. We're going to see if they'll surrender. It's refused, and we got ourselves a big old wall battle. It is in our favor. We do have cannons to pierce the walls. They have an extreme amount of mortars, which is why it wasn't a little more lopsided. And numbers-wise, they pretty much match us. So that's going to be a challenge for us, getting over the walls. The only good thing is most of these units, okay, they may match as numbers, but these are a lot of armed populace that we're dealing with. And the garrison musketmen, so it's no top tier units that we're dealing with here. So we'll see you down on the battlefield, see if we can make this one happen without waiting. Alright, there's the fort in the background. The fort's kind of on the high ground, a little bit of a rise here. We're going to set up cannon on multiple sides. We have 2 regiments, I believe, of artillery. I'm going to set them up to breach on 2 different sides, and we'll come back once we're set up. All right, here we go. We have 3 artillery regiments. One will go against this side wall. The next artillery regiment that we have down here is right here that will go against this corner, and we have another regiment out from the distance that will go for a third side. So we should get 3 wall breaches. And I have 5 to 6 regiments. One group of 5 to 6 will go to this wall. There will be another group for the front, another group for the side breach, and then there will be another group of 5 to 6 regiments just to climb the wall in the back, not wait for the breach, since there isn't one on that side. And that's how we're kind of spread out, but we're going to keep the pressure up on all sides. Cavalry is off in the back there, and another regiment over here, just as reserved till we get, in case they come daring and come out, we can run them down, or once we get our breaches and are able to maybe get inside for that final push with cavalry. All right, so let's get this going and get our artillery aiming and bombarding. All our walls are targeted, so we're going to start moving our infantry. This is the group that will be going up against the back wall. A lot of mortars to be bombarding us. That's quite a barrage we have to hold up to. We're going to come up to this side. Bring our forward line up. And finally our side line will get advancing. So we want to keep the pressure on, keep them moving, keep them spread out so we can breach. And in fact, we got some armed populace coming out the front gate. I don't know what they're doing. We're 80% down on the walls here. And the 8% over here, let's see about how they're targeted. Looks like we may have breached the side corner walls here. So we're going to get this battery retargeted, see if we can't make some more holes in the wall. Get them to spread out even more. You can see the mortars pounding in the distance. And somehow I moved my cavalry forward a little prematurely. We're going to run them back. We're through the wall there. Let's get retargeted here over to the other side. We got some reinforcements coming back here. We're going to see if we can't take a couple of these regiments to deal with those reinforcements. We'll do that on a run. In fact, that's just to hold them there until we can get our cavalry up, take care of the reinforcements, so they can refocus back on the wall. The march feels slow. The march feels painstakingly slow. But we have some breaches. And we're getting them more and more off the wall, so that way the only damage we're going to be taking is from the mortars. Cavalry coming up behind. I don't know how aware they are yet. Get them sandwiched in between fire and our own cavalry charge. Get these infantry units. Looks like their reinforcing general had a heroic death. Let's get our infantry units moving back forward. Our cannon fire does not appear to be retargeting as we've desired. Let's get open towards the breach over here. Okay, we're going to run. And it's time to get ourselves up towards this breach. Getting pounded here. If they're coming out of the gate. Yeah, the armed populace has folded over here. They're coming out to meet us on this side. Looks like there's been another hole punched over here. And they're coming out to fight with us. And that would appear that we're pulling them a little bit away from the wall on this one side. Let's see if we can get ourselves through. Looks like we have another breach on this side. We're going to see if we can push our way through, get to the interior. We're going to see if we can't come up the wall here. time to make our entrance onto the back wall before those mortars pound us into submission. They can't stop us at every breach. First unit through broke. So far they're managing to plug up, so we have an opening over here that we can get through. And we're going to go charging in. Looks like, for the most part, we had a battle outside these sides, so we're going to charge on in against the mortars now. See if we can get through against this unit that's somewhat disrupted. And we are climbing the walls. In fact, we have a unit back here that's regrouping. Let's see if we can address that. Everybody in through the walls that we can. Hand-to-hand, melee, bloody combat. Let's see if we can't come down off these walls where we have the walls. We're starting to engage some of the mortars here. There's just a long way to go. And now it's time where we can see if perhaps we can get our cavalry units engaged also. It's a slow fight coming through the walls, but we are just fortunate that we are able to overwhelm them. It's slow coming down off the walls bit by bit as they find their way through the pathing challenges that they have. In fact, let's finish off the last of these mortars. And then this battle will, once and for all, be ours without so many more excessive losses. We're going to silence our own cannon now that they're firing upon us. And we have gained control of the center. The last of the mortars are coming down and being silenced, and it's just a matter of time now. And pretty soon our cavalry will be getting through. These guys can get through to help the push. We'll push on towards the center so we can hold it more consistently. And it's just a matter of time now. And I'm still hearing cannon fire, but I don't know where it would be coming from. We've halted everybody. There it was coming from over there. Let's come into the interior, get our cavalry charging in. And we are solidly holding the center as their remnants are fighting to keep us out over in these 3 spots, but it's not going to be enough. And it shows you how hard on the breaches, how easily they can be held by even a less than superior force, just armed firelock and militia, kind of garrison militia. But we are victorious. All right, and we have one of our goal targets here that we've taken over. Let's get the repairs going. We have plenty of funds for doing that. We're going to tear down the Maharaja's palace, put up our own. We can repair the rest for now. And once again, we're going to tear down these walls. No, 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 no. There we go. And the region has been captured. There's not much left as far as the Mughal Empire is concerned. We have Punjab, Kashmir, and Goa. This is all that remains of the fight against them. And then we can move on against Mysore. And then we can figure out if we want to try trading for Bengal with Great Britain. Or when we fight it out in New York, we'll be fighting the British over here also. What I'm going to do is take a look at taking our army out of the Rhineland. It looks like we should be able to disengage now. Yes, and the Rhineland is in order. I want to get back to our capital. Just makes me nervous being out of there for too long. And I think what we're going to do down here, these guys should be replenished by next turn. I'm going to go see if we can't pick them up. Yeah, we should be able to move out without a problem.
Klaar om te wenden. Orders ontvangen. Wat zijn de orders, kapitein?
And we'll get the army moving to Venice. Minus the garrison militia. There, now I'm feeling a little more secure over here. We're going to have an election coming up in one turn. I'm kind of liking our new cabinet. It's the way it always works right before an election. I get the cabinet we want. And trade is fine and wide open. The only good thing is the Austrians don't have a navy anymore after we took care of them. They have a slight navy here, but they're sitting in port and haven't been doing much. Is our navy repaired? Our Mediterranean fleet. Let's go take a look. Yes, they are. Let's see if we can do some of our own blockading to keep them from being tempted to move against Russia. We're going to see if we can't blockade them in. And our path is blocked from what? Oh, the British are in the way. Move, move, move. Now we have their port, their main port blockaded. The only thing is they may be able to get some relief now that they've taken over Istanbul. They may have access to trade through that port, but I know the one I blockaded right now is their main port. Alright, let me take a look at any details that might be standing out there. There's nothing really else. I'm not going to negotiate peace with Austria at the moment. Take a look at my list, make sure I haven't forgotten anybody. All right, I think we're going to go ahead and just move on to a new turn. See where these loose factions of theirs are going to be headed to try and cause us some headaches. So I'll see you on the other side. Alrighty, and what do we have here? This nation has declared war on us, Persia. Now that I've pushed up with the Mughal Empire to the borders of Persia, they have decided that I am a target and they want to declare war on me. I'm going to not call any allies to help at this point, and that their ally is the Ottomans. We'll see if the Ottomans come into this or not. And no allies come in to support anybody. All right, we have had some raiding parties all through the Mughals are sending small stacks all over, doing some raiding, so we're going to have to see if we can address those small stacks. We finished separation of powers, and it's moved us on to rights of man. We'll check and make sure that's where I want the research to go. Persia's trade agreement has been canceled. Hindustan is now on strike. We're repairing things there as we speak. And we have our rake missions. Looks like they're all successful again this time. A little bit of militia to help us out. We didn't lose, or they didn't go up against any territories. Mostly these have just been raids against our economy here in India. And we're getting some more infrastructure done. And we have a new town in Lower Louisiana. And we're going to go ahead. Actually, we need conversion down here, so we'll build the church school. And leave it at that. So what we're going to do is we're probably going to call the episode at this time. I'm going to take a look at the map. It'll give me some time to see where their scattered troops are. We got, it looks like a raid over here. This is still floating around, so we have forces nearby to deal with that. We've had some raiding anywhere else, and we haven't seen a move by the Persian Empire yet. Now they have a port and a very minor small navy here, so it might be time for us to move some of our ships over in that direction, especially now that I have a navy that's freed up a little bit because I control some of these ports now, so we can afford to take these ships.
Aye, aye.
In fact, what do we have here? We have a Mughal Navy in there, and there's one quick way to get the Mughal Navy out next time. So we'll keep that ship there for next time, have that little battle with the Mughal Navy. We'll keep them blockaded here in Goa, so they get no income. They're now landlocked. They have no trade avenues. They just got Punjab, Kashmir, and the Goa territory down here, which we have blockaded. So I think things are slowly wrapping up with the Mughal Empire. Persia decided to become a pain in the behind, but fortunately it does not appear that we're dealing with any major forces per se. So come join me next time, and let's see if Persia becomes a thorn in our side as they could, or if it's just a minor distraction. Hope you enjoyed the episode, the battles that we got to take on this time. This is ZigZagZog signing off from somewhere in this world. I hope to see you all next time to see if we can continue this thing. We can see the end in sight, but there's all these little interruptions that keep popping up. Weird declarations of war that throw us slightly off track. So we'll see if we can manage to stay focused through all that and get this thing done. Hope to see you next time.